glad to be here. I know you got our players. I was on the bar stool with Luke earlier. I got to see him in action. It was kind of cool. See the exposure, see the excitement. Luke's going to do a duet with me, so we got a first performance. I've never officially done that before. Shared the stage on the seventh inning stretch, so it should be a lot of fun. Will that open it up?
You guys practiced that before?
No, but we will. Actually, the first time I ever did it was 2006, and you used to walk out on that. I call it walking the plank. They used to send out on a stage, and there were no edges, right? You could just walk right off. And I don't like heights, but now everything's inside, and they actually let you warm up with the organist. So we'll practice a couple times. I sent him one of the first ones when I googled Wrigley seventh inning stretch duets was Harry Carey and Eddie Vedder. So I said I think we can beat these guys.
How do you see Luke just handle the attention that's kind of been thrust upon him? And
How's he been handling?
Yeah, just more media attention, more spotlight.
Luke's a pretty cool cat, man. I've been very impressed since I've been around him. The highest of highs, the lowest of lows. He does get a little feisty. I don't think people know that, but Brett Moore asked him earlier today, and I don't think he's feeling any type of nerves. I told him when you sing this, 40,000 people stand up and look at you. It's like a different feeling, But it really not much phases Luke.
Did you provide any advice on the first pitch?
No, you do not want to see me throw a pitch. So Brad and Sean, they can handle that one. I always say I'll take the singing. I don't want to do the pitch.
Different as maybe the fan excitement and what people see a lot of fans saying out there than maybe a year ago.
Yeah, so I rolled in town yesterday, so we stopped. We were out in New Lenox. I met a donor of ours, and I was kind of just standing there about 10 minutes before he got there, and I had a half a dozen people come up and grab me, and I wasn't in any Illinois gear, so it just kind of made me aware that I think the awareness of Illinois football is a lot higher, especially in our home state, and people are proud of what they did. Today we had a donor lunch, and there were about a dozen of our former players, and only one of them, James McCourt, played for me. Everybody else was before I got there, and to see those guys smiling and the pride they have, it's kind of fun feeling for everybody.
You've strung together some really good seasons earlier in your career.
Yeah.
What have you told these guys about what it'll take to back up a good season?
Yeah, I always say that it's kind of a little catchphrase I use. There's no tackle, turnover, or touchdown that carries into this year. You got to earn every one of them, and I think there's enough of our guys that were in that 22-23 season that they realize maybe all the I's weren't dotted, T's weren't crossed the same way, and I think they've been good about that. I think we also brought in, some players from other programs. That addition of now some really good players come in that they know can help us immediately, and it kind of rejuvenates everybody a little bit on how we do things. So there's a little bit of everything going on, but I am excited about the hunger of this team.
Is there any extra emphasis on building Illinois relationships with Chicago? Is that kind of your reporting at all?
Well, since I took the job, I've talked about building relationships in Illinois. We've done a better job in-state, really collectively, downstate and here in the Chicago area. We've really made it a priority as a staff. I think the coaches know that. Like when I talk to high school coaches, they commonly talk about how much they know we emphasize the state and the dividends of where we are right now. In my opinion, going into year 5, we have a roster that is significantly different, and about half of it is from Illinois.
Yeah, Josh and Josh were here. They signed 2 days before you were hired as coach. What's been their imprint on your program?
Kind of both uniquely different. I didn't know either one of them, obviously. Josh Groots came in with a lineage, right, and it was very clear early on he wanted to make a name for himself and be him. Josh Gessie, I bet you he'd be the first to tell you that he kind of got here and it was very big. It was overwhelming. I didn't know where it was going to end up, but to have him be a 3-year starter now and the growth that he's had as a football player. I really thought spring ball, he might be our most improved player. I mean, he was good last year, but I just think he's at a different level right now. And it's fun to see those guys because I didn't get a chance to recruit them, and to see them build into what they are now is pretty awesome.
Is there any obviously the Colts play completely different sport, but is there any lessons your players watching their professional team?
I don't know that one. I don't know if James even. I don't know if they've ever been to a Cubs game. I know that Luke had baseball in his past and his history, but I guess I think Josh told me that you got to confirm this with him, but I'm pretty sure that him and James struck out at a baseball game and their dad made him quit because they weren't going to be failures. So I don't think Josh Groots had a big long baseball career.
Luke talking about this being the most confident version of himself as a man.
Yeah.
How have you seen that play out on the field?
You know, I really kind of saw it in baby steps last year. We do a thing. He actually does a Friday end of half, end of game report, and he's not a real powerful talker, but when he's in that meeting, he talks very clearly. And I always say volume reflects confidence, and I also just seen his interactions. A year ago, we did Wednesday workouts where only the quarterbacks could talk, and I thought really was smart on Tank, kind of brought that out of him. So, you know, and then today, just a little thing like we were on with, you know, basically it's a Mississippi State guy at Barstool, Brandon Walker, and apparently he had taken some shots at Luke, and Luke told him he had receipts, right? and it was fun to see. Luke was very confident in that moment, and I thought it was pretty awesome to see him in that. It's just those little indicators of what he is.
Speaking of receipts, you have fun playing back on Twitter or like the SEC schedule?
Yeah, you know, I don't really have a plan ever when I go into those moments. My wife will tell me that sometimes I got to slow my roll, but I really kind of like. It sounds crazy, but when I was a coach, my first year, we came to Chicago for Big Ten meetings, and Jim Tressel and Lloyd Carr grabbed me. And that year we'd gone 12-1, and they kind of grabbed me and said, "Hey, as young as you are," I was 35 at the time. They're like, "You're going to be a steward of this profession for a long time." Albie had told them that he thought I was going to be a decent head coach, and they just said, "Hey, you really got to look out for not just your team, but the better of college football." And so I think as I've come back, especially this last 3 or 4 years at Illinois, I'm in meetings, and there's a lot of good coaches, but some of these guys are in the younger version of themselves, and they just don't understand what's coming at them. So I've really tried to stand up for the game a lot. A lot of those things, I'm just kind of having fun. Like I want 16 teams in the playoff, right? I think last year if we would have had 16 teams, we got a chance we were going to be in there. So there's just little things I do that have a bigger meaning. I always stand up for my players. I just have always believed like if you can't stand up for yourself, somebody's got to. So I got to kind of do that at times. But I'll probably get a little quieter as we ease into August here. Just kind of want to make it be about our team. I don't like the attention sometimes it brings to my guys. That's the only thing I would say.
Did you see Diego Paggia's comment today about the Big Ten?
I did kind of see that. Yeah, I don't know.
You're coaching both leagues. What's your opinion?
Well, I understand what he's saying, right? And he's regurgitating what's being said to him, I think, probably. Listen, the Big Ten, I grew up in this league, played in this league, was very successful at Wisconsin, but you know, my first bowl game, we beat an SEC team that I actually ended up working for later, right? I think on any given Saturday, anybody can get anybody, and that was what played out in the bowl game, right? And I know it was brought to my attention, right? There's no SEC returning team with 10 wins, if I'm not mistaken, and we got 3 in the league, right? So like it's just kind of one of those moments where I think in the last 3 years, the evolution of college football with the portal, the NIL, it's created a level playing field that's never been seen before. And I think it's trending more that way than going back to the way. A lot of people want to live in the past and try to stay by the rules of the past, and I just don't see it a part of our future.
What's the best format playoff-wise for the game?
I don't really know that. I mean, I think Tony's awesome. I know the 4, you know, automatic. I get that, but I got to believe there's times where the Big Ten and the SEC maybe will have 5 or 6 teams that are worthy. You know, I think these teams in these leagues, these 2 leagues can beat anybody on any given Saturday, and I think that's the part that I'd like to see is everybody has a chance. I'd like it to be the 16 best teams. I know that. That's the part I know we know.
Do you think that could we ever get to a point where there's uniformity in scheduling? You know, that's part of the conversation.
I don't think there's any way we can do a 16-team playoff if they're not at 9 games, right? So we voted unanimously as Big Ten coaches to stay at 9 and actually maybe have an SEC challenge. I was told that they voted unanimously to stay at 8 and not play the Big Ten. But then some people pipe off and say what they want to say because they want to look a certain way. Like, I get it, but like I think until you get to 9 for everybody, I don't think it can work.
You said you don't want to go back to pre-NIL portal. Are you afraid it might go back with the house settlement?
No, I think it's. I really believe next year. This year's still not truly balanced because so many teams could load their roster before July, before the NIL rule. So I think. I really think it's going to be more of everybody's going to have somewhere in that 13 to 17 million, and everybody's just going to be able to hopefully be on a fair playing field.
When I was recruiting, it seems like their excitement's paying off. Right
Yeah.
now.
Oh shit.
You need to make a call.
Yeah. I got to call somebody at 7:15. Yeah, like literally today. Obviously, I think later this week we'll have some good news. I think next week we'll have some good news. I really. I just think what people see when they come see us right now is genuine and real, and that has an effect on people. When the money starts not being a factor, when somebody can't say, I'm going to give you this so much more than others, and it's just about the environment, the feel, and the history, that creates an environment that's really good for us.
There are 2 more if you need it. Anybody?
Inside the contract extension.
Yeah.
You and your program to be long-term.
Yeah, you know, when Josh came at me during the bye weeks, and I kind of said I wanted to get my staff straight, and then we worked together, and I really wanted something long-term. Obviously, I signed a no-compete in the Big Ten. I don't want to be anywhere else. It just is another great way to partner with the university and show what we mean to each other. I think we built this thing into – I'm really proud of a lot of things, but to have a season ticket sales, you know, to be where they are and the records are broke, those things mean a lot, because then I know this, the more success we have, the better we help everybody else. And I think that's been an awesome part of the signing.
4 years into this, what do you see about the program's potential in your relationship with that program? Yeah, just what do you see about the potential? What this could be long term for you and this program?
You know, I talked to Josh early on in this process before I had a job, and he kept saying sustainable success, and it's something we always talk about. Not a lot publicly, but he and you've heard him say it. I think what we're beginning. I've told him, like, I don't need all these fancy. I just need to be supported, and he has given us unwavering support. The administration has done it from the chancellor down. Like, it's really fun to be in a partnership where I think they know the value of what we've done and hopefully of what we can do in the future.